Hey everyone, Tracy Verdugo here. Thanks so much for tuning in to my YouTube. And today I wanted to speak about something and to share a little bit with you about something that's very dear to my heart. And that is the magic that can happen when you take yourself off on an art retreat to somewhere amazing with a bunch of like-minded, creative people from all over the world, and just the beauty of that experience. So if you've never been to an art retreat, but you've thought about it or you've wondered what it would be like or whether it would be worth the investment, let me just tell you a few little stories from my experience. I've been running teaching, facilitating art retreats for more than 10 years now. I have taught, facilitated more than 100. I think I'm up to about 105 workshops and retreats now. And a workshop is very different than a retreat actually. So a workshop generally, I run 3-day workshops and people come to the workshop and we paint our hearts out for those 3 days. About 6 hours a day, but everybody takes care of their own accommodation and their own travel and their own meals and things like that. A retreat, on the other hand, is something very different. And of course, there are different kinds of retreats as well. And over the years, I've run retreats that I've organized everything myself, which has been, well, I shouldn't say myself, my daughter Cece has helped me to organize those retreats. And they have been amazing. I've run retreats in places in Bali. I've run retreats in Mexico, in Australia, in the US. I've had other friends help me to run retreats in Italy. I can't think of all the places, so many different places that we have had these art retreats. And some of them are all-inclusive. Some of them we leave some space for the students to go off on their own and have some meals alone or with friends, that type of thing. But others are completely inclusive. And the ones that I have coming up this year and next year in Europe are the type that are completely inclusive. And very excited to say that for the first time, these ones are being organized by a company called Uptrek, who are a dedicated art retreat travel specialist. They have found the most amazing venues for us. They are taking care of all of the meals and excursions and the beautiful surroundings and accommodation. And I get to show up and teach, which is what I love to do most. And so at these retreats, I'm not going to be worrying about booking dinner or anything like that because all of that is taken care of. I'm going to be there to hang out with you all and to just spend so much time sharing with you everything that I have learned about painting, sketching, all the materials I love, acrylic inks and crayons and paints and charcoal and collage and all the things that I love to immerse myself in. I'll be sharing with you like an excitable child because that's how I get when I'm on retreat, because when I'm home, I don't get to spend days and days and days immersed in my studio because there's a lot of admin, there's a lot of other stuff that goes along with teaching online classes. And so when I go on a retreat, in some ways I feel like I'm on holidays as well, even though I'm working. I'm hanging out with beautiful people who love to paint and we are all just in heaven. So what I've got coming up is I'm teaching in Italy and Spain this year. Now, if you're watching this, it's currently June 2024 and I am teaching in Italy and Spain. They were all sold out. They sold out, 4 retreats sold out in a few days, but we have one cancellation in one of my retreats in Spain at the end of September in beautiful Andalusia. And it is on an amazing property in a nature retreat. The meals are going to be spectacular. We're going to be doing day trips. We're going to be walking to one of the nearby villages. I'll be sharing with you all of my travel sketching tips, as well as working on small and large watercolor sheets with all of the mixed media techniques that I use, and teaching you how to layer, teaching you how I approach color, and how I find inspiration in the smallest of things and bring that into my work, and really just sharing with you everything. So when I teach at a retreat, of course I have some guidelines or some, exercise activities that I usually do, but I also leave myself wide open to the inspiration of the place that we're in. Of course, that's, what we want to do, because we want to be inspired by our surroundings and the culture that we are immersed in. And I also leave myself open to really reading what the group needs. So oftentimes, I'll see somebody struggling with a particular thing, and, I'll talk to them for a little bit about what might be helpful. And then that will take me off on a different trajectory than I had planned, especially if it's something that I feel would be really beneficial to the group. So I might sit down and do a completely different demonstration than, what I had planned for that morning or afternoon. So that's kind of how I roll. And it seems to work really well, because I feel the group out, I feel the energy, and I think about what they need in the moment, and that's where we go. And the other thing that's beautiful about being on retreat is that not only am I painting and doing these demonstrations for you, I do a lot of demos. I always get secretly a little bit disappointed if I go on a retreat or a workshop and there are no demos by the artist, because I am curious and I love to see how the artist actually moves the paint, how they hold their brush, what are they thinking as they make those decisions that they're making. I love seeing all of that, and I learn so much from it. And I know a lot of creatives, I learn in the same way. And so I'm really mindful to do lots and lots of demos for you all. And I love doing it. The other thing is that when we have a group of people together, all working on multiple pieces, all at the same time, we're all having the opportunity to learn from each other as well. And so, I can walk around the room and see a color combination that I never would have thought of. And that gets me excited. And then I'm like, wow, I got to go back and try that, And so not only are you learning from me, but you're also able to learn from all of the other beautiful works and people that are in the group as well. And on top of that, having that time even outside of painting, where we're eating together and we're doing these day trips and we're seeing through our beautiful, fresh magic eyes because we're in a new place, having those times together to share about our creative journey, to share about our lives is really, really special. And, when you travel, we all tend to let down our guard a bit. We let down any masks that we usually wear. And when you travel with creatives, it's even more expansive than that. And so people get really, really close. And I've seen women, it's not all women at my retreats, but it's 98% women usually. But I've seen women form lifelong friendships and, end up going on retreats together again and again over the years, from bonding during a week at one of my art retreats. And that just makes my heart so happy. So if you would like to join me this year, there's just that one spot left. That's it for the whole year, one spot in Spain in September 2024. Next year, we have opened registration. I'm teaching again in Italy. I'm teaching at Le Marche, Italy. I'm teaching in Sicily, and I'm teaching in Portugal, as well as a couple of workshops back here in Australia, in Huskisson, where we live. The retreat in 2025, June 2025 in Italy is full. So there is a waiting list. But Sicily and Portugal have only just been opened for registration, and in the first couple of days we've sold out 2/3 of the spots. So there are, almost 2/3. So there are, I believe, 5 spots left in Sicily and in Portugal. And Sicily is in May 2025, Portugal is in June 2025. And I would love to meet you in one of those places. The itinerary looks incredible. The food looks amazing. The venues are just delightful. And we are going to have the best time just immersing ourselves in creative play and joy for a whole week. So I'll have the links down below for you to check out. And I hope to see some of you in those few last spots that are left in Sicily and Portugal next year. And I hope one lucky person grabs that last spot in Spain this September. So yeah, I hope to see you somewhere amazing, somewhere exotic to paint together in the future.